Two of my best friends live in the same neighborhood as me, but our other friend lives about a mile away in a different neighborhood. One Sunday morning, we all texted each other and decided that we wanted to hang out. We would take turns visiting each other's houses so none of our parents would get overwhelmed and become annoyed with us. This time, it was Drew's turn to host us at his parents' house. At this time, we were around 13 years old, so none of us could drive. The best way to reach Drew's house was by walking across the local golf course. The golf course is part of a country club, so technically we were not allowed to use it as our shortcut. We had to be very stealthy and avoid anyone seeing us as we were venturing through. We would actually pretend that we were secret spies that had to get across the course without being seen in order to complete the mission. Most of the time, this was not a problem, as we were all pretty fast. In the morning, we managed to get across the golf course without a hitch and hung out together all day. Just before dinner time, so around 5:45, it was time for the three of us to make our way back home. As normal, we expected to get across the golf course without a problem, but we never would have been able to guess what was in store for us in the next few minutes. As we reached the country club, in front of us were people playing golf, so we decided to attempt to go around the course. On our way around, we ended up walking down a hill where a massive wasp nest awaited us at the bottom. My one friend, Gianni, got stung first, but the next thing I knew, I felt stinging pain all over my body. Wasps are evil creatures as they are able to sting as many times as they feel is necessary, and apparently they felt a lot of stings were necessary. We were finally able to push our way back up the hill through shouts of pain and crying and reach a flat landing. All of the wasps were stuck to our clothing, so we were forced to strip down to everything but our boxers. We looked around and just began laughing while crying. The immense pain made us sprint across the golf course right in front of the people playing in our boxers. I apologized to the golfers as I went by, but they were very understanding and ended up just laughing along with us. Now there are three teenage boys crying, yelling, and running in their boxers through a neighborhood filled with families and little kids playing outside. Unfortunately, my house is the furthest away from the golf course, so I had to run alone for a little while. When I finally reached my house, I ran inside and threw my clothes on the ground. My mom heard me crying, so she ran out to the foyer asking me what was wrong. I just yelled that I was stung by a lot of wasps and I needed the pain to go away. Just then, my dad ran in and said that I should just go jump in the pool. What a great idea that was, because as soon as I jumped in, I felt a huge relief of pain all throughout my body. I continued to just lay in the pool for about half an hour. By this time, everyone in my family had come and seen me just stretched out, floating in the pool, and relaxing. They were all dying to hear my story, so my sister brought me a towel and everyone gathered around as I told them about my horrifying experience. They all got a good laugh, and now that most of the pain had subsided, I laughed along with them. I texted my two other friends later that night, and we all counted over 25 bee stings on ourselves. Gianni's mom was particularly angry because he had his school photos taken the next day, and he got stung right on the eye. It was so swollen that he was unable to open it, and his school photos did not turn out very well. The craziest part about it was the fact that Drew, who was extremely allergic to bees, did not have to cross the golf course with us because we hung out at his parents' house that day. At the time, it was one of the worst experiences of my life, but looking back at it now, it is a great story to tell and a great memory to look back at and be able to laugh at forever. Sometimes the worst experiences end up being the best stories to tell later in life, so when looking back, always try to look at the bright side of every single situation.